Yes, people. Okay, we're going to take a look at a Guardian special in regards to Brexit and how it potentially destroyed this fishing village in the United Kingdom. So let's take a look here now. Says here, struggling fishers in Hastings say the industry is dying after a deal giving away access to its waters made a tough job impossible. Okay, a small flotilla of gaily coloured fishing boats line the shingle beach of Hastings, East Sussex. Behind them are the bulldozers that shunt them into the waves and beyond. In neat rows are black wooden fishermen's huts and fish stalls, where on a good day, teenage daughters, wives, and retired skippers sell some of the day's catch. Now, this is stayed a Saxon word for landing place, from where the wooden boats have set off since before William the Conqueror arrived in 1066. But a decline in Britain's fishing industry has hit many coastal communities hard. Hastings, home to one of UK's oldest fleets and the largest beach launched fleet in Europe, is one of the worst hit. The fleet, which had 53 registered boats in 2015, has 18 today, a drop of about 66%. Of them, most lie idle, the fishers say. Now, fishing has nosedived here, says Peter White, 67-year-old who has fished since he left school at 15. A lot of people have left from here all the way up the Eastern Channel as far as Whitstable. Harbours are empty, boats are gone, fishing is on the floor. These boats haven't been at sea for a month. No one is at sea today due to westerly winds, which worsen the further out you go. He says, and even on a good day, there's fewer than 8 active. These small, under 10-meter boats are the backbone of the UK industry. They represent 79% of the fleet and reportedly provide half of catch-related jobs. But in England, between 2008 and 2022, they declined in numbers by 22%, nearly double the 13% fall in large boats, according to research by Newcastle University and the University of Plymouth published this year. Okay, so over the same period, vessels under 10 meters also spent 43% fewer days at sea. Now, the fishers in Hastings who spoke to The Guardian blamed multiple factors for the decline, including marine heat waves affecting fish populations, unsustainable quotas that dictate what and how much they can fish, and larger trawlers further out in the North Sea hammering fish stocks. Okay, now, in White's family, fishing goes back a century, but neither of his two daughters fish, and with most on the state in their 60s, he fears he is one of Hastings' last fishers. It's going to die out, says White. Fish shops are disappearing right, left, and centre. He's semi retired, but still fishes with his nephew Darren, 49, on his boat, the RX 56, the Sussex Girl. He loves being at sea more than he ever did. I have a pension and no mortgage to pay, so there is no pressure, he says. Most fishermen don't do it for the money, they do it for the life. So obviously you can see fishing is a way of life for these people. The Hastings Fishermen's Protection Society, set up in 1831 to preserve the fishing community's right to work from the beach. It has helped train 10 young people over the past decade. All except one have left for better paying jobs elsewhere. Shane Ball, 32, whose father is a fisher, left reluctantly in November for a job as a maintenance man. All I ever wanted to do was fish, he says. I skippered for 12 years. But it came time to get a mortgage. When you go out to sea, you have to pay the fuel and the crew. Sometimes you are literally burning the diesel for nothing. The cost of fuel has rocketed, as have other costs after health and safety rules imposed on small boats by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency in 2023. In May, the struggling sector was dealt a further blow after a Brexit reset deal between the European Union and the UK. Fishers condemned the deal as a betrayal because it granted large EU vessels 12 years of access to UK territorial waters, right up to where the small boats fish are 6 miles from the coast, a year before the existing deal was due to expire. Alongside the deal, the government announced a 360 million fund to modernize the fleet, boost exports, and support communities. Mark Ball, 62, who fishes with his son Jamie, 30, the youngest of the Hastings crew, says earnings have plummeted in the past decade. The only way we can maintain the boat now is if we take it out of savings. Mike Cohen, the CEO of National Federation of Fishermen's Organizations, says the Brexit reset deal was a big blow that surrendered the best prospect fishing communities had to grow. You got basically out little boats fishing alongside 30-meter plus Spanish, French, Portuguese boats and Dutch and Danish in some places too. That can stay at sea in all weathers, fish around the clock, and stay at sea for a week or fortnight in weather that our boats can't get out from port. They can't compete. We gave away access to waters and we got absolutely nothing back. Cohen has called for a national strategy for fishing and marine food production and to deploy the 360 million Fishing and Coastal Growth Fund where needed. Last week, scientists from the International Council for the Exploration of the Sea advised a 77% reduction in fishing north of East Atlantic mackerel to prevent population collapse. Conservationists point to a lack of unified management plan between countries to prevent overfishing. Catch limits between EU countries and the UK in the region have consistently exceeded limits recommended by scientists. Rob Pearson of Chief Fisheries and Conservation Officer for the Sussex Inshore Fisheries and Conservation Authority argues that good inshore management is one of the reasons England has one of the largest small scale fleets in Europe, but it is undermined by what is happening farther offshore. The changes in health and safety rules have also had a massive impact on recruitment, he says. The pathway to becoming an inshore fisherman was already a struggle. It's harder to take a crew because of the safety requirements. Now, back in Hastings, Lucy Phillips, 55, and skipper Paul Stanley, 59, are sorting nets on the deck of the RX 11. Christine on the state, Phillips, who worked as a translator before taking up fishing 4 years ago, it makes me sad it's declining. We don't want to become a toy town where people leave the boats and it looks like a museum, she says. In the old days, the state was like a big family, says Kevin Bollen, 64. Everyone knew everyone else. As kids, we used to go pull the boats off the beach. They would give us a few fish and we went round to the houses selling them. When you got to my age, you would be the boy ashore, help bring the boat in and get a quarter of a share. This used to be one of the richest fishing grounds in the UK. Now you'd be really pushing yourself to take £15,000 a year. Bolland said his boat after a cancer, basically sold his boat after a cancer diagnosis more than a decade ago. Another 10 years, I don't think there will be boats out. Ask what will happen to the state when the last fishers leave. Bolland replies, it'll be turned into a car park, won't it? There you go. So you see how the Brexit reset deal has affected fishing communities here in Hastings, probably in other parts of the UK as well. And while the Brexit has been known to be a negative impact generally on the British economy in various different ways, let us know in the comment section what you think about what's happening with the British fishing, right now with this Brexit reset and how they're struggling. What do you think the government should be doing? Do you think Brexit was a good idea? Drop a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one.